Are you missing out on some golden opportunities by not leveraging video on LinkedIn?
You take the nuggets out of it and it's a gold mine.
LinkedIn is quickly becoming a video-first platform. What does your LinkedIn video strategy look like?
You know, it's a comfort level thing. They're not used to putting videos out there.
LinkedIn is definitely starting to push video a lot more.
You know, variety works.
Yeah.
I have LinkedIn expert Chuck Shaver on the show today to talk about your LinkedIn video strategy for this year.
How often,
Right.
from your expertise, should we be posting something to LinkedIn?
People forget that this is real life.
Yeah, right.
We talk about what types of videos you should be making, some of LinkedIn's best practices for video, and even make up a company on the spot and put together a LinkedIn video strategy for that.
That's cool. Let's play a little game.
At the end, Chuck brings his one thing you need to remember.
Somebody's watching this. They don't get anything else from this whole episode. What is one thing that they can take away?
This is the Video Lab show where I have high-value conversations with experts in video marketing, video content, and video platforms. I'm your host, Caleb, and I've been helping businesses grow with video since 2012. I'm a video content coach and founder of the Video Lab, a content studio located in downtown Sioux Falls, South Dakota. If you're a business or individual wanting to learn more about how video can help you create more awareness, build trust, and generate more sales, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any other conversations. Here's my conversation with LinkedIn expert Chuck Shaver about a video strategy that will help you take your LinkedIn presence to the next level.
Well, Chuck, welcome back to the Video Lab show. This is a little bit different. We have a little bit different of a setup here. We're not live. We're recording this. This is awesome.
Yeah.
It's good to have you. Can you just explain who you are and what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm Chuck Shaver. I run a consulting company to help people leverage LinkedIn for selling.
Yeah, right on. Now, you had a few different things, kind of like since you've last been on this show, a couple different things that you've started up. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I've expanded more of my on-demand offers,
Yeah.
a little bit more affordable than my done-for-you services. But what's been really popular in the last year has been building communities.
Okay.
So it's really hard for people to learn, you know, from a fire hose and get too
Yeah.
much information, and there's a lot to learn. So, and not everyone has a huge budget. So I
Right.
started a community where I kind of do, for lack of a better term, microdose learning,
Okay.
where every other week I'll spend half an hour of education and half an hour of Q&A, just kind of bring people through in bite-sized
Yeah.
amounts and real low entry point membership.
That's awesome.
Per month. So.
Now, you've seen some growth with that too, haven't you? Like that's...
Yeah, I just launched it a couple of months ago. There's, you know, and it seems like I get a few new members every week. You know, we're up to 30 members now and continue to get a lot of word of mouth out of it and a lot of growth. And it's only like local. I only focus on the home state here in South Dakota for that particular.
Yeah, and it's not only virtual, right? Like you meet in person sometimes.
Yeah,
every once in a while.
A part of it is once a quarter or once every, 3 months worth of those meetings we do an in-person.
Okay.
So it's about a month away is the next one that we're all meeting up, and I just sent the invite, an update to the invite out yesterday, and there was a lot of people are going to be there. So
Right.
the last one,
Excellent.
it was about 50% of the members showed up. This time it's looking like about 80%.
You're going to have to find some bigger spots to meet. I don't know.
Yeah, we're still fitting in the space that we're going into. A couple of our members are from EOS, and they've got a nice space for us right now.
Yeah,
so
excellent.
They're hosting, but we've got some other people with some bigger spaces that I'll head up when the time comes.
Yeah. Well, Chuck, thanks so much for being on the show today. And today we're talking about LinkedIn video strategy, crafting a LinkedIn video strategy. And I'll be totally honest, when I get into LinkedIn, I see, just from my perspective, whether it's on my phone or on the computer, that LinkedIn, from all of the social type networks, I kind of consider LinkedIn kind of a social type network. It's probably the least video driven platform compared to obviously TikTok, YouTube, even Facebook, and now Instagram. Those I feel like are fully video driven platforms right now. But when I get into LinkedIn, I kind of see a lot more text-based posts. Can you just tell us a little bit about the LinkedIn platform and like who is the LinkedIn platform for, first of all, and then we'll get into kind of that video strategy. Who's the LinkedIn platform for? And then how to kind of like best utilize that aspect of LinkedIn.
Right. Well, there's a couple things to address here. So, I mean, LinkedIn is started out as everyone's resume, you know, and people never really took it that serious, never really spent that much time in it.
Yeah.
And it was this standalone thing where, you know, people are in Facebook daily, people were in Instagram daily, people would go to YouTube if they wanted to see a video. So, you know, it was never really considered that daily driver of content, social kind of thing. But it's, you know, it's developed, and although it's not quite there on the video side, it's coming along. It's trying to catch up.
Totally.
So now, you know, like portrait style, like the reels, they're going after that, and they're doing more of that. But yeah, I mean, when people first started out on that, it was a resume. The more they dig in, then, you know, it's a comfort level thing. They're not used to putting videos out. They're not used to even putting text out there.
Right.
So it's, you know, it's coming along. It's behind, you know, a lot of the other like true socials because it's always been in that business framework.
Right.
And there's a certain level of people that are intimidated by that, you know, so, but it's coming around.
Now, I did say that it's probably the least video driven, but what I have noticed, like especially if I log in on my phone into LinkedIn, what I have noticed is there is like a video, almost like carousel thing now, right? Yeah. That even since the last time we talked about LinkedIn, which was at this point, probably about a year and a half ago, by the time this video comes out, probably about a year and a half ago. So within that time frame, I have already gotten like a real carousel, you know, from different creators creating those videos. And so LinkedIn is definitely starting to push video a lot more from what I can tell, you know, just from a user experience, right? I'm not in LinkedIn like you are, but just from a user experience, when I pop in, I see that real carousel. But then I also see like a video button for me. I don't know if everybody has that, but like in the app, I now have a video button where I can go, and it's basically like you know, YouTube Shorts, or it's like Instagram Reels. Right. It's like all video right there. Right. So when it comes to a video strategy, especially on LinkedIn, I think right now is like it's crucial to have a good LinkedIn video strategy. So let's talk about the video strategy just a little bit. Okay. From your perspective and your expertise, what does a video strategy look like for LinkedIn from a broad view to start?
Well, as far as content in general, and then I'll talk more about video specifically, but content in general on LinkedIn, from my experience and a lot of people that I talk to, you know, variety works. Yeah. Because people don't really get that connected to the business page. They're getting connected to the individuals in the business. Yeah. So if you are monotoned and singular in your focus and it's very repetitive, then people get bored, you know, with whatever form that you're doing. So I'm a big advocate of share a little bit of your personal life, share some knowledge about your products and services, and talk about, you know, something that's just general industry stuff, right? You know, and talk about what you're doing in business. You know, so if you mix it up, then you're going to keep interest. Now, video, you know, I do a lot of every formats, but when I do video, I know that, you know, a picture's worth 1,000 words, and you can say so much more on video, and people now are used to not having the audio on it, but with closed caption. Yes. You know, they'll sit there and absorb an entire video and get everything from it because they can read the words. Yeah, right. You know, so it can be a very powerful thing.
And when I notice that, you know, video reel that shows up on the feed, everything is captioned.
Right.
Like if you're looking at a video strategy,
if you're going to get in that,
have captions.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's real important now.
Now, one of the things that kind of stuck out to me was what you said. It was like, the business page compared to like the personal page? Is that kind of like, is that almost like a personal brand type thing where people are kind of using video on their personal pages, not necessarily, I mean, you probably have like big, like, corporate videos that would show up on a business page or something like that. Maybe a little bit more professional quality, however you want to put that. But like, what stuck out to me is you said it's like on the personal pages that people are doing this. Is that kind of like as somebody's kind of building a personal brand? Is that kind of where that falls?
Yeah, it's kind of a hybrid. It's a dance. It's something that you need to have some planning behind if you want to do it successfully from a corporate level, because there's a lot of variables there. But people don't expect to company-esque a type of video on the personal page so much, unless you're sharing it and adding your own, hey, you should check this out because here's my personal experience, putting your own personal spin on it and sharing it out. That's fine. But, you want to get more personal on that personal page. But some people are like, why would you share personal information there? And I talk about real life. People forget that this is real life.
Yeah, right.
And what I mean by that is if you have a client that you're meeting face-to-face and only face-to-face and you go and visit them, does he know you have kids? Does he know that you've got practice tonight with your little one? Does he know what church you go to? Does he know that you like golf? Does he know anything personal?
Right.
Yeah, he knows all, he or she knows a lot of personal stuff about you because that's the relationship you build with a client. So why not share that on social?
Yeah,
that'll allow people to feel more comfortable with you.
Yeah. Okay, so kind of as we develop a LinkedIn video strategy, what are some like key elements that you would say when it comes to putting together a good, effective video strategy for LinkedIn? Like I'm thinking things like, target audience, like those types of things. What are some like key elements in your expertise when it comes to that?
I mean, you want to tell your story and you want to stick to your brand.
Okay.
So a video can do so much more to spread your message and to capture a story and bring in emotion and get people excited about something that you're doing. And, but if it's just fluff, if there's no value, if there's no call to action, if there's no, then it's just pure entertainment, and that's a lot of expense for not much value.
You could probably go to TikTok if you just want like pure entertainment, right?
Yeah, if I want to lose 3 days of my life
oh my God.
to doom scrolling, then I can just open up TikTok.
Oh geez, yes, that is definitely the case, right? Now, what types of video content have you seen that's been pretty successful as far as like, are there different types like client testimonials or, we talked a little bit about, we'll get into more of the storytelling here in just a little bit, but like actual like types of videos. If somebody's thinking about putting a video strategy together for LinkedIn, are there like these types that you've seen that have been pretty successful?
Yeah, get other people involved because when it comes from a corporate level, it can only go so deep. When it comes from the employee level, it can go a little bit deeper. But if you go outside of the company, if you do a video that involves a client, that is gold. Or if you are like, I'm the sales guy, but we have engineers or service people that deliver it, they are always much more trusted than the sales guy.
Right.
I mean, I grew up in tech sales, and I could go in and talk to a director of IT and say, this is what you need. Here's the new software. It's great. It'll save you all this time and money, blah, blah, blah. And it'll be like, oh, it looks good on paper.
Yeah.
My engineer walks in and said, yeah, what Chuck said. And all right, let's write it up, because there's that trust level, So the more you can break that down to different levels, if you can go and do a video of this is me with my client, John Doe at ABC Company, and this is the pain point that we cured, then everyone that knows John Doe, everyone that's in that vertical, and everyone that might be interested in is like, that's proof of concept. That's believable. Now, if I know that person, I can reach out and say, is this really the real deal?
Yeah.
And that's huge value because that's the tough hurdle on social is, earning that trust.
Yeah, right. And that's, I mean, kind of that strategy piece is like knowing your audience, right? Like who are you talking to?
Right.
And then how do you see like the call to action kind of playing in? Because like, a structure of a video, like you have to have a good hook right at the beginning
Right.
to like bring people in, the high value that you want to give, and then the call to action. Like, have you seen like different types of calls to action on LinkedIn that maybe you see differently than some of the other platforms, like video platforms that are out there?
Yeah.
And that might be a loaded question. I don't know.
No, it's not. And, what I would address on that as an example is no social platform wants you to leave their social platform.
Yeah,
And LinkedIn's
that's
the
right.
worst of all. So they constrain reach if you put things like direct URLs off their platform
Yeah.
or put, some call to action to say, come to my purchase page, those sorts of things. They don't like that because it's not so much the selling part, it's the leaving their platform part. And they want you there. They want that captive audience. So, but in a video, you can put a QR code. You can,
Yeah, that's a good call.
You can splash up your website address, and you can get things in a visual sense and explain them. Of go to this website or scan this QR code or do that. You can do certain things to work around that system.
Yeah.
There's a lot of versatility in video.
That's cool. Let's play a little game.
Okay.
Let's play a little game. Let's create a business, and we're gonna create so we put together a business. We're going to create a video strategy, a LinkedIn video strategy for this business.
Okay.
Does that sound like a fun game? Can we do that real quick?
I'm gonna need more details.
Oh yeah, I know. We're gonna need a lot more details. Let's do. I see a lot of. Let's do digital marketing.
Okay.
Okay. So we have a digital marketing company.
Yeah.
You and I, and we want to grow this business on LinkedIn through video. First of all, I don't think we need a name for our. Let's call it Chuck's Mighty. Let's call it Chuck's Mighty Digital Experience.
Okay.
That sounds kind of, maybe we shouldn't go that route, but digital marketing experience. How about that? That's a
Okay.
little better.
All right.
Okay. And so what are some key elements? We're just getting started,
Right.
And we want to grow Chuck's digital marketing experience,
Right.
Mighty Digital Marketing Experience. What's the very first thing that we should do if we are going to try to promote Chuck's digital marketing experience?
Well, we need to define the company.
Okay.
What we're delivering.
Yep.
What our products and services are, and how we can best explain them.
Okay.
So I mean, you've got to get the bullet points of the what first,
Yep.
and then you've got to get the right words of the how.
Okay.
And if you can talk about who you help and how you help them, then you can start to say, okay, how can we build video to really tell this
Right.
story?
Now let's say this is brand new.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about a strategic approach with video of like building it publicly with video? Like, these are the experiences that I'm facing building this company.
Oh, yeah.
Like almost like a behind the scenes type thing.
Oh,
like,
that'd be awesome.
Since it is from the ground up,
Right.
how would you feel about like, okay, these are the struggles that I'm facing right now. Would you put something like that on LinkedIn?
Oh,
or would that
certainly.
be like
Certainly.
more TikTok or something?
No, you can scroll through Netflix and see all these, concert tours
Yeah.
or comedy
Yeah.
tours or whatever, and the behind the scenes stuff is like how'd they get there?
Okay.
The up and coming and the behind the scenes that tells a lot. I mean, I have meetings. I just had a meeting the other day where somebody was looking at partnering with me on some level, and they were like surprised at how like honest I was.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, you're so open and honest. And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, well, most people are like, oh, I'm this big hot shot and I make, like 8 figures, a year, and I'm
Right.
I'm crushing quota and all this stuff. And I'm like, because that's not true,
Yeah.
and I'm true to who I am. And you can capture that sort of thing in video.
Yeah.
You can do that in person, one-on-one, but
Right.
you can't reach the masses that
Yeah,
way.
right.
You know, so how do you do it? You put that video out, you capture it, you frame it.
And here's one of the reasons I was thinking about putting that type of video in this video strategy, especially, okay, a couple of reasons. First of all, we're building it from the ground up, right? So we don't have like all of this. We might have like background, right? We might have background in digital marketing that we can bring to this experience, but we're building a company from ground up. I like that piece of it.
Right.
And the other piece that I like about possibly putting this in our video strategy is because, okay, so I talk to artists a lot about, they're like, why are my videos not getting views? Why are my videos not getting views on Instagram, for example?
Right.
And one of the things that we kind of talk through is like, are you just showing that finished product, or are you showing the process of how you made that piece of art, you know? And then if you kind of start looking at other channels, other people, artists that are finding success on a platform like Instagram, for example, they are showing their process of how they made it, you know? And I think it could be the same with a business of like, here is the process, here's the struggles, and like you said, you see it on TV all the time, like with these remodel shows and things like that. It's like all of a sudden they go to commercial break and they just found like a hornet's nest in the wall or something, you know, and it's so all rotted out or whatever. And so they are facing these struggles. So having almost like this behind the scenes type process building, I like putting this in our video strategy. Do you have any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, touching on two things here. As far as putting that in your video strategy, I think that's a great idea. You had talked about going behind the scenes, total like running down a rabbit hole. Is AI has gotten so good now at like mimicking people and making them like AI age. I was like, would be really cool, instead of somebody that just started, is get an established company of like 20 years old, getting the story of their upbringing, and then AI that person's video of him or her as a younger person struggling and going through that. That'd be a really cool. But yeah, I mean, video should definitely be a part of that play.
Okay, so we're building this video strategy for this company. Chuck's digital marketing experience. What are some other? I'm going to see that pretty soon. I'm going to see that coming.
So
from
I
here.
better grab that URL.
Yeah. You better get that. What are some other key elements that we would put into our video strategy? We're kind of like, I mean, we got pretty specific on the type of video that we're going to do. Like, how about like defining who these videos are for?
Well, see, and that was the other thing you were talking about, the person who doesn't feel like they're getting, enough likes on that video that's going out there. There's so many variables that come into play.
Totally.
I mean, if you've got one follower and no SEO and no hashtags or anything, and you're putting out to Instagram, nobody's going to see you. You know, it's a work in progress. It's something that you need to build up to, and that all comes with time. So, but yeah, I mean, you want to tell that story, and what's great about video, or what works in video, is short form. Long form really sells it all, because you can tell your whole story, but the struggle is getting attention. And if you have a 20-minute video, nobody's going to sit through it, because it's a mindset.
It's tough.
I talk with people all the time about mindset. If I go to a movie, I know phone off, lights out, focus, 2 hours. If I turn on a podcast, I know probably an hour. I can multitask. I'm just kind of listening, hour. But if I'm scrolling through social, I don't want to see a 20-minute video. So you get the shorts to get the hook. And it's got the SEO words in that'll draw the eyes to it. You've got the connections that will feed that. You get the activity on it initially and nurture it the way you need to for each different social, and that gets your reach out. And then it has to be good to land. And then that short is the hook that drives them out of the platform into the long form. Then whether that's your YouTube or your website or whatever, and then that's your play. And then you can get better analytics and track it and see, what your KPIs are, what your success is from that.
Now I see this on your page quite a bit. Like you're doing this quite a bit of that short form. Like you might have a longer maybe phone interview or something.
Right.
And then you're cutting that up into little chunks.
Right.
And that's what, like something like this, where that piece of content is so versatile, is like you have that long form video that,
Right.
It's 30 minutes, like you said, hour long, but then you cut that into short segments,
Right.
and then push that out to other.
And that's how that should be a part of your, your plan. Your plan should be, what is this full 1 hour story? What do I want to cover for subject matter? Let's record it all. Well, in that recording, you're going to run down a couple rabbit holes. You're going to have a few nuggets on this side of the fence and that side of the fence. So chop it up.
Yeah.
Give just that little quote, because everyone's always got that zinger quote or whatever. So it's like, get that little quote in there, and that's your hook.
Yeah.
That's what gets people to, I want to see that whole thing.
And that's what I notice with the, when I open up LinkedIn, that's what I notice is like it is pushing that short form content.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
vertical
Yep.
short form content with that carousel that's there now. So
Exactly.
it's like it is like very similar now to like Instagram Reels,
Right.
and YouTube Shorts,
Yep.
TikTok, where it's vertical. If you have two people on screen, stack them, right, and put captions on it.
Right.
Like that short form is starting to show up a lot more in the LinkedIn feed.
Yeah, they're pushing it. I mean, they don't have the embedded, filters and tools and fun stuff that the other socials do. They're behind on that, but they've been behind on everything.
I
but
definitely
they're
think that's the
definitely
next piece for LinkedIn
Yeah.
is like putting some of those editing tools
Right.
that Instagram Reels have or TikTok has. TikTok is like they have incredible tools for just putting a video together right there on
and
the
a lot
platform.
of people are still using TikTok to make their videos,
Totally.
and then
Yep.
downloading them and putting them up on
Yeah.
LinkedIn. So
one of the programs I really like is CapCut, and you can very easily put captions on with
Right.
CapCut.
Right.
Cut the video if you need to, like a lot of
AI
different
shorts out of that.
Yes,
pretty
you can
easy.
do a lot of AI features with right on your phone within
Right.
CapCut. So
Right.
there's no excuse to not make video basically right
Yeah.
now. So to promote your business.
If you don't like it, you don't have to put it out. But that's what stops most people from even starting.
Yeah, right.
Is they paralysis from analysis.
Oh yeah, I love that saying, honestly. Okay, so we have some behind the scenes videos that we're gonna do. We're gonna do some short form video content. This is kind of our strategy that we're putting together. How about like consistency? Like when we think of a video strategy for LinkedIn and this our video strategy for Chuck's digital marketing experience is kind of like all over the place right now, but we're getting there. We're getting there. We just have to write it down. It's all up here right now. So we just have to write it down. But how about like the consistency piece? How often,
Right.
from your expertise, should we be posting something to LinkedIn?
Daily.
Let's go.
Yeah. For
Okay.
the shorts.
Yep.
You can chop up multiple different shorts and don't make a video and have like a dozen shorts from that and go bing, 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 bing.
Yep.
But like we've done things before, and you have shorts that you've provided to me from those visits. So I have like one that comes out every probably 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, because I can spread them out, and that's a part of my content strategy is the fact that everyone's like, how can you put content out every single day? That's such a heavy lift. And for me, it's like if it's timeless, if you do a video about the story of your company that's timeless, put it out once a month.
Yeah.
And then now you've got 12 days. If you do it once a month, now you've got 12 days of the year covered.
Yeah.
So that's done in the books. So then, okay, now I've got all these shorts. Well, maybe you want to put out a short every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, all right, now you've got, another 24 covered.
Yeah.
And then you start to build that out with your video strategy. And then it's like, hey, I happen to be at a convention and I bumped into a client.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a live in person, like,
Yep.
hey, I met up with this client and I'm going to do this. whether you're comfortable just posting that, or you need to send it back to marketing or somebody that you trust, to wrap it up in a pretty bow, then you can do that. But then it's just, oh, I want this to go out now because it's like time, time sensitive. I got something already scheduled to go out today. We'll just reshuffle it.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. I really only create a few pieces of content each week, but I post daily because I repurpose.
Mm-hmm.
And if I ever need to go back
Like
to
that.
and I hang on to everything. So, you might do a 1 hour video that there might be one thing you talk about that's still not relevant, but the rest of it is.
Yep.
Well, chop it up.
Yeah.
You can always go back to the well, and you can always go back to those resources and repurpose it. And the more you have in the folder and the more you hang on to, the better you're going to be able to provide content.
And sometimes it's as easy as like just pulling this thing out and making a little video.
I mean, I see people that are daily posters that are, big influencers, and sometimes they just take a selfie of themselves and say, "This is all you're getting today," because I couldn't think of anything to post, kind of thing, and they get away with it. So it's like,
oh man,
I mean, you can make a little video. I know a lot of people that just jump in front of their smartphone and do videos on a daily basis.
You know what I've seen that's very popular that seems to be working very well is people shooting their videos in their car.
Oh yeah, as long as they're not driving.
As long as they're not driving, and I haven't seen any driving yet, but like just right there in their front seat, right? And they're just recording because it's kind of like a little bit of a quiet spot. I mean, you're gonna have some good audio because it's all like contained. And it's not gonna leak anywhere. And so sometimes it is as easy as just pulling this out and shooting a video.
And you do want professional video when you're talking about,
I like this,
the company stuff.
Yep.
But you also want some of that, like raw, uncut.
I was going to ask you about this. Like,
you got to mix it up.
As we think about a content strategy, a video content strategy, like what is that good balance? And I totally agree what you're saying is like, yeah, you want that professional, like you might want to have, if you have the budget, bring in a professional video company, like the Video Lab, can come in and shoot some amazing video for you. That you can put some money behind, run as ads, that type of thing. But that's not it. I mean, there's more to it. And a lot of it can come like this, just shooting selfie style content. And that's kind of more of that, like you're getting that raw feel. You're getting that, it kind of humanizes the brand a little bit. You know what I mean? Is there anything that you want to add to that? I think
do a podcast.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You can do it right here in the Video Lab, just so you know.
Yeah. Because, I mean, whether you want to bring it in-house, that's a heavy lift. But, I mean, there's a lot of people like yourself that offer that as a service to clients. And, doing a podcast gives you all of that stuff.
Yeah.
You can take the shorts, videotape it too. You can live stream it.
Yeah.
So it's like you're having an event every time you go on a podcast.
Yeah.
So you're live streaming. You've got short form content. You take the nuggets out of it, and it's a gold mine of content. So yeah, that's another thing. And you can have that as a repetitive thing. And again, here's your short. You're capturing their attention. You set the hook.
Yeah.
And then, be sure to go out to whatever, Spotify or whatever, Apple, podcasts and whatever your favorite platform is to serve up. And it's like, I want to see that. I don't have time now, but on my run later today or whatever, I'm gonna dial that up.
Well, like you said earlier too, like I can't say how many times I don't have enough fingers to count, but I walk into somebody's office and they're working away, but they have a little podcast playing. Like they almost like minimize the window a little bit, make it small, and they have a podcast playing down in the corner of their computer monitor. So people are listening to these things. So if you're providing like high value information and content, like there's a pretty good chance that somebody's going to tune in, even if they have other things going, whether they're working out, like you said, or whether they're working and they have this video podcast. Are super versatile,
and you can stream them anywhere.
Yeah,
I mean, you can multi-stream them to, Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and YouTube all at the same time.
Yeah,
so
I like that. So we've building this strategy, video strategy. I'm not writing anything down, so I don't totally know where we're at now. But we have We talked about the short form video content. We talked about maybe some behind the scenes. We just talked a little bit about kind of the consistency of maybe when you should post of this strategy. And some of that came into like batch shooting some of your things
Right.
or repurposing content that you already have. It kind of all falls into that realm. Anything else about this video strategy as we build Chuck's, digital marketing
When we
experience?
talked about formal and professionally done versus on the off the cuff individual, like raw kind of videos and the podcast as well.
Yeah.
I mean, these are all different strategies that a company of any size should seriously look into if they're not already doing.
Yeah.
And get everyone involved. So, like I touched on with the, get the engineers involved, get your customers involved. I mean, a customer testimonial on a PDF, just stagnant type thing is one thing, but you get them on camera and you get them talking. A setup like this, you bring your client in to do a podcast, and you just talk about, what's a day in the life of, what's your challenges, how can we better serve the community, or what did you learn, kind of thing that you can share with the audience. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge to grow your business.
I love it. One of the things I wanted to bring up about this strategy is, as we kind of build it for Chuck's digital marketing experience, how do we know if these videos are working? What about the analytics side of it? Are there certain things, like from a LinkedIn perspective, in your expertise, are there things that we should be watching from an analytics perspective that will help these videos grow, or maybe show us things that we might need to change to get videos that would grow, like that type of thing?
Yeah, I mean, LinkedIn keeps some of the basic analytics. So anyone that likes and comments, any of the views that you get of that, you can look up some limited demographics of those, like titles and geography and different things about the businesses. But it's still kind of limited. I mean, you get a lot more information when you get them off the platform. So if that short form is getting the numbers that you want, then you can coincide that with, okay, how many people are making it to the long form that's on maybe our website. That we've got a lot more analytics, and we can really drill down into who's coming here and what they're doing. And that's, and it'll keep all the history there.
Yeah.
So you just look at it of, okay, I'm going to do these forms, and I'm going to look at it. I'm going to dump it into a spreadsheet and see what kind of success this gets versus this gets versus it. Everything's about the KPI. It's what are those, key performance indicators that I'm going to define, that I can define, for tracking this to a point A to Z, and which ones end up with a successful outcome.
Now, does LinkedIn, like on these videos, on these reels, I haven't looked at this in depth, but are there like share features that you can do? Like I know on like Instagram, obviously you can like save the video to your favorites. You can share it out, that type of thing. And that's one of the things that Instagram loves, are those two features, as well as, commenting and liking, but really the sharing out. And if Instagram sees that this video is being shared out, it's going to start pushing it to more people. Does LinkedIn have anything like that you notice that?
Yeah, so you've got a private save folder in LinkedIn, so you can save it. So if it's like, I want to dig into this, but I don't have time, you can click save, and it's in a folder on the menu on the left-hand side. But then there's two share options. It's share with comment or just straight up share. So if you straight up share, those benefits go to the originator of the content. It's basically, you're saying, I like this content. It's going to go out to your feed, but it's benefiting the original post of the creator. If you share with comment, then now that becomes your piece of content. So
noted.
So if somebody liked that or commented on that, it's going on your feed, your reach, your exposure. So it's more self-serving. So
Excellent.
Teach their own.
Well, you know what, Chuck? I think we have a awesome video strategy for Chuck's magnificent digital marketing experience. I can't. Was it Majestic or something?
I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I don't remember it. But the company is for sale. $2 million. So I mean, if you're open to that, I mean, we can split it.
Okay.
That's fine. We can split it 80-20 or whatever, 80-30, whatever. Yeah.
Like selling it or buying it?
No, we'll sell the company.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
I mean,
right.
we have a video strategy that's going to be like
Okay.
perfect. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. Well, okay. So we're thinking of anything else about video strategy on LinkedIn that you want to toss out there. One of the things, I like to do on these episodes is you give your one thing. Like if somebody's watching this, they don't get anything else from this whole episode.
Mm-hmm.
What is one thing that they can take away from this episode?
Well, I think it's obvious that that video, in some form or fashion, has to be a part of your strategy. So, I just tell people it'll never happen unless you plan for it. So I'm a big believer in get it in your calendar.
Okay. Yeah.
So just say,
like
I don't
that.
care if it's me on my smartphone for 10 seconds saying my top thought of last week.
Yeah.
Every first Monday of the month, I'm going to do a 10-second video
Love it.
on something.
Yeah.
And then, the more repetitive you do, the better you're going to get. And then the more you'll outgrow your own and have to bring in more people to help
Like
you do
that.
something higher end.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, Chuck, this has been great talking about video strategy for LinkedIn video. So, where can we find you?
You can find me at cssalesconsulting.com
Excellent.
or Chuck Shaver on LinkedIn.
All right.
I'm pretty easy find.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much, Chuck, for being on this episode.
My
We'll see you
pleasure.
in the next one.
All right. Thanks.